Vielleicht habe ich diese Fähigkeit, um mir etwas davon zurückzuholen.
I mean, I guess final thoughts on the Kunkkas. You can always push the lane and go jungle, push the lane, go jungle, and it's very fast at doing that. SF, of course, too, is fast at doing that, which is a big reason why SF is relatively strong in this meta with the new Guardian Grease build, is because you can do that. You can just jungle that hard camp extremely easily after pushing out the wave quickly.
But like we mentioned before, though, mid lane, Radiant side mid lane with the Kunkka just makes it a bit more intuitive to just go in, kill the medium camp, and come back. Whereas SF, you still have to go up a high ground, depending on what they have. I mean, we see the Chen, even if Lesh is a support, you know, you can come in with a rotation of that. Or, sorry if I mean with a Radiant side, obviously, you have the Nyx, you can come in rotation from the high ground and just kind of backstab the SF when he tries to go into the jungle to farm.
Yep. I like the Chen Brew combo. You can put the Chen buff on the Panda, and I'm pretty sure as a hero unit that gets the 3x damage, and as it has the the pulverize, which does more damage to buildings. So you have that absolutely ridiculous combo in the late game. Of course, you can always still use that on the siege creeps with Chen, but that combo, we've seen it with the Invoker plus Earth Bruling, and it's pretty dirty. There's situations where you can literally just rax them while a fight is kind of just breaking out in total chaos, and you just put the Bruling on the building and it like raxes. And with Shrek, that's even more so true.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, they did nerf the Diabolic Edict slightly, but once that's capped out, it's, I believe, the same strength, right? They just reduced the damage at each level by, was it 2? And then it caps out the same.
That, yeah. Scales to be just as good.
It's quite scary looking at what All But Gold has already. Because the Doom is really nice. I like the pickup a lot, especially against the 3 first heroes they took. But usually we see Dooms go for face drums, maybe a Midas, and it definitely feels like you need a Blink Dagger this game to just preemptively jump in and Doom like the Brewmaster or the SF. Because once Guardian Greaves comes up, Vlad's on the Brewmaster, and then a level 7 on the Leshrac, they just melt through buildings. And sure, you can run up, but the Brewmaster just could preemptively split. So you have a very hard time getting a proper Doom target, and then they can just kind of destroy your buildings. Yeah, the sustain is very good for them as well.
Chen and Shadow Fiend with the mechanism, you have the 2 heals to deal with the Doom. If you doom either of them, the other one's just going to save. I mean, you're not going to doom the Chen, of course, but the Chen will save somebody. If you doom the SF, Chen will save them. If you doom anybody else, the Shadow Fiend and the Chen will save them. Brew is definitely like the ideal Doom target. Honestly, Old Book Gold has a really good early game pushing lineup. They have this like really nice window, about 18 minutes to 25 minutes in the game. Like you said, with the Vlad's, the mechanism, and the little Shrek, maybe having a couple of bracers. If they could pick some carry that fights but also scales decently well, some maybe Ursa, Jug sort of thing, this would be a pretty good way to possibly have an early game timing and then a nice fallback. Because with the way it looks right now, Gambit has the late game secured.
Yeah, I would like the Jug a lot because of having that very common build nowadays as well, with going just face drums, Manta, and then definitely helps against the Medusa. Obviously later on it's not going to be as strong, but you still have a way where that build is also really nice to help early on to fight, because you just go with them level 7, level 8, you fight, you have face drum.
I feel like
there's still Ursa too. There's a Monkey King, which it would be good against Doom and Lane. It's good against Kunkka. Can build up to Diffusal against the Medusa. It's just not as early game centric as the Juggernaut.
Isn't there been
how well it does in the lane?
A common issue with the Jug though? Like we've seen it a few times, right, Jenkins? And in the Medusa matchup, that is the Jug versus the Medusa. And maybe it was just those drafts. This one seems like it might be more catered to it, because usually the issue that you ran into is the Jug is stuck trying to farm, but you have someone else who needs this huge bulk of gold as well. I guess you could say All But Gold's draft does centralize around that kind of one farmer very well. Instead, though,
what?
We're getting the Coreless Rack.
Yeah, they're really committing to the early game. Cool. Sweet. Illidan will Shrek.
Yeah, I've seen him play it before, so it should be good. I mean, I like the clock as well with setting up kills, especially if you just clock Lesh and Chen, you can run them aggressive.
Yeah.
Just put pressure onto what's looking like it's going to be a safe lane Medusa. there's a chance of that. I mean, unless Afo goes safe lane with the Kunkka, because usually you want to have the Medusa in the mid lane just to get the extra levels for sure. And especially against the Shadow Fiend as well, it's fairly useful. So we'll see if they want to swap that up any.
It's a really good clock game. You have the hook for the backline, so the Keeper of the Light. You can screw up the initiation of the Kunkka, of the Doom, just like break the fight up into 2 with the cogs. They have a bunch of melee heroes. They have relatively slow heroes that have, you know, good physical resist and regen, but the clock has enough persistent damage to get through like the Doom's regen, to get through the Kunkka's regen. The Nyx Assassin has the Carapace, sure, but if you're caught in the cogs and he has the battery assault on, you're going to catch up to him. Especially if he breaks the cog and tries to get out, it's going to knock him back, and that gives you time to catch up to him. Like, I don't think Clock cares about any of these heroes. It honestly feels like an amazing Clock game. I wouldn't say like a perfect Clock game, but he's definitely going to feel comfortable ganking any of these lanes. There's no hero that can just get out of cogs. There's no Queen of Pain. There's no, Puck. That's always where Clock really struggles, when he doesn't have anywhere to go. But he can go to any lane in this game and get a kill.
As long as he doesn't fall really far behind in the lanes. I mean, if they come out of the lanes, swinging, then I think Clock is going to have an amazing game, like you said. If they fall behind a bit, and
combo.
then, yeah.
Forgot about the combo, the Shadow Fiend extra souls. Looks like he's not even going to suffer in this lane now.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen this.
For a while, we just saw it non-stop, and it was kind of sigh, when will this be fixed? And I don't know if this is on the same level of what we complain about with the Ring of Regen earlier, but if it starts to come back in hard, it could be.
I don't know. It's kind of up there as this weird thing that probably shouldn't be in the game, because, I mean, do cogs have souls? Like, doesn't make any sense. The lore.
Well, you know what? OpenAI has led me to not question it that way. You never know, okay? Maybe the cogs have become sentient.
Speaking of OpenAI, you know what they do that is something that also is weird and probably shouldn't be in the game? When they tank towers with sentries. Like, these are just very strange mechanics in Dota where it's kind of like, all right, is this a bug or is it a feature? I don't know.
I mean, that must be a feature, and that's just next level plays. I can't wait until players start picking drop sentries to tank towers to make sure the catapult stays alive.
Hey man, probably when we see the OpenAI finals, maybe people start doing that.
Yeah.
Just watch OG use that strategy against OpenAI.
It's actually legit if you don't pull the tower aggro. Super legit.
Just put down 5 sentries when pushed.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could tank a tower for the siege creep with the sentry, and then the next. Although I'm pretty sure tower priority goes to siege creeps.
Maybe.
I don't know. So if you're attacking the tower, I'm pretty sure the tower would swap to you. It's really weird, but the way that they use it is kind of bullshit. So.
You know, you got a question. Is it as ridiculous as being able to sell up under towers? That's the real question. It was a classic.
Yeah, that is a classic. As an offlaner, I have no problems with salving under towers. That's a lot of the time how you kill, how you dive.
The typical political answer coming from the offlaner. If it benefits me, I'm all for it. Why should my lane suffer more? It's already hard.
Bring back the 0-second shrines. Where are those at? Come on. Those are great.
Is it not good enough that they made your lane a lane again and you're not expected to just not have double-digit deaths by 10 minutes? You should be happy.
No, I want more. I want more than that.
Always want more. Especially as an offlaner. You don't get enough. You can always get more.
It's true.
Greed that goes unpunished. How are these looking so far? I mean, Kunkka's getting decent CS, but straight out of the gate, G's not suffering at all.
Yeah.
Maybe
the extra souls just make it so damn hard.
Well, like, this is your one advantage, arguably, until you have 6, right? With the Kunkka is, hey, he's going to have a bad start, low base damage, because you got to remember, you're a melee hero against Shadow Fiend, who has these razors that stack.
Yep, that is true. Although you have a high HP pool, and you also go for bracers, so it's one of the few heroes that Shadow Fiend can't just triple raise and kill. Ooh, what? Careful, Nyx. Stun.
Living life on the edge here, but so is Velior, and Velior will be the one who goes down. Emotional lift. Double mango regen.
Unfortunate cogs knockback when the stun on the Leshrac was off. Like, he hits the stun as well as the knockback, kind of overlapping the stuns a little bit there, and it could have made the difference, but it was just unfortunate timing. There's Really nothing that they could have done.
So the base damage of the Leshrac is definitely showing this top lane though, because the Kulich up on 13 CS compared to the 7 on Illidan.
Yeah, it's rough for this hero. And just the fact that in side lanes you don't really go for null talismans anymore means that you don't go for the early mantles, so your intelligence is just really low. Sure, you have the wands and the stat item, or sorry, the sticks and the stat items and stuff, but it doesn't give you anywhere near the amount of damage that the old mantle build would. Sitting at 54.
Once again, we're on the old statements. How old is that build? A few months?
Hey man, I'm not the one adding patches every 2 weeks, you know?
Well, this is what the community wanted. For better or worse. There's an argument of whether it's worse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had it said interesting ways, and I kind of agree. It's just, I think you go back, how long ago was it now? Like a year and a half? We had like one stale patch, and that was where the outcry came out. But if you actually looked in the past, you just had this kind of evolving meta that happened because you weren't changing anything about the game, but people were like experimenting and finding new combinations they didn't even think of before.
Yep.
There's definitely always things to explore. I mean, one of the... sorry, I just lost my thought.
Well, Velior lost himself a size cogs, but so decided Gambit. Okay, well, they're going to give you a moment to recollect what you wanted to say there as they'll calm down there.
But yeah, one of the great examples is if you look back at the old troll snipe meta, for example. I think that if that would have gone on for another month, a lot more people would have started picking up Winter Wyvern back then, because that's when you could do damage in the ulti, and it was way stronger against melee heroes. But no one was really playing Wyvern back then. So I think that when you have these longer patch stretches, you definitely see the meta evolves a lot more.
Also, just consider back then, like, there wasn't creep cut. People literally didn't creep cut back then. Yeah. Like, that wasn't a thing, to cut the wave as an offlaner. It's just like jungling not being a thing. The whole meta shifts when people start doing like a strat, like cutting the second wave or immersion.
Stun coming out to him after he puts the double stun out. Who's going to die faster though? The Spike Carapace comes out, and that means Illidan has to walk away. But with the point in Scorched Earth, he will just tick down to Kulich. Kulich can turn around, try for the kill on Velior. The Barrier Soul going. He's going to get himself two there. Velior, beautifully done. In time for the runes as well.
Yeah, that's super good timing. I mean, those kills, compared to the bounties, they don't matter.
Yeah, and the Edict being out as well through that whole fight really helped out.
Oh yeah, for sure. Both of these lanes actually have a lot of damage between the Scorched Earth, the Doom, Infernal Blade, Stun of the Nyx Assassin, Battery Assault from Clockwork. That's what I was saying, like the level 3 on Clockwork is super important because the Battery Assault level 2 point scales to give you 25 extra damage instead of just 20 at level 1. So it's super effective to level it up. It does more than double the damage. So now he's way more capable of getting kills in these lanes, especially with the solo double kill up top. Almost solo.
Almost.
Yeah, the levels are incredibly helpful.
This bot lane actually has been rather quiet, actually.
Yeah, they're all just kind of chilling. They're all just kind of farming down here. It's hard to aggro into a Caudle, because worst case scenario, he just blasts the wave out with level 2 Illuminate, and then pulls, and then blasts, and then pulls, and then blasts, and then pulls. And sure, your Medusa doesn't get CS, but your Caudle will. So you can see he has 8 CS right now, so that's what he's been doing. Take all the range creeps with the Caudle Blast.
It looks like he's gone for 2 points in the Illuminate, as you're talking about. Not doing what we've seen FNG do in the past. He used to have a habit of taking level 1 Blinding Light. Kind of glad he moved past that, because it tended to backfire. The problem with that skill is you use it, and then you're useless for 30 seconds.
I think this makes a lot of sense what he's doing. He's single... Oh, actually, no, is he trying to pull through? No, he's not. So he's just single pulling, which is sending a double wave into them, which is a really good way to deal with a high-pressure lane, like Brood Shen, because you're just trying to play into, like, 2 creep waves. It's not possible, so the Medusa can farm. And then also he's blasting the hard camp as well, which is killing it, which means it respawns. Medusa can take the CS a little bit there. And they're just generally going to get more experience down here because of this, because they're abusing the creep push mechanic. Actually, Medusa's stealing the creeps with Mystic Snake. So they're actually getting the Medusa the farm down here, despite pushing it with the blast. This is a nice lane. Really nice.
Kind of surprising as well, right, Weapers? Because I feel like a few months ago, we were looking at support meta in a different way. It was about how can I not interfere with a creep wave? How can I not do damage to it, right? I feel like that was one of the reasons Disruptor, as an example, fell out, because you were just kind of hitting up a hero, but then inadvertently pushing the lane.
Yeah, now it's changed a lot. I think people are abusing the jungle a bit more. I mean, that's happened for a while now. You see these just pressuring it into the tower, especially if you're not really that afraid of the offlaner, or you don't have kill threat on the offlaner anyways. Sure, it's nice to pull back, but it's also fairly helpful considering the Chen was down here. They want to put pressure if they can. So if you just push the wave, you go in, you hit a couple of creeps in the jungle, you're just going to accelerate your farm and be able to actually hold once that push comes along.
Right, because Brood Chen has no way of pushing the wave like a Medusa Caudal can. So why not just double their CS? Which is kind of what they're doing between them. I mean, obviously not exactly, but they're doing very well in a lane where if they were to just casually lane this, they'd be getting pressured.
They want to try and punish this because Veliar's rotated down, but there's no easy entrance. You're still 2 melee heroes fighting into a Medusa and a Call.
Look at this pull. Double stack on the easy camp. They're just farming up a storm down here on the Radiant side.
Yeah, so is G though. G has topped the CS chart so far. Keeping... Oh, no, he doesn't even have the lead anymore. Afon has taken it. Gotta see those bounties more than anything else.
And you always have to be worried as Shadow Fiend. So he's got the magic wand, which I still don't think this is enough. If there's any sort of rotation, you can see how safe he's playing on SF. You actually can't go lane against Kunkka. He just X's you and you die. Or you take all of your HP and it's not worth it.
That's always the big problem when you've got that level 6 on Kunkka, suddenly the lane dynamic completely changes. Before, it was a little bit of whittling, a little bit of harassment. On almost every hero, unless you're a Bracer build, that goes to this guy can now kill me.
Look at this Nyx. Gambit is completely anticipating this gank right now.
Here they come in, and oh no, he fluffed the stun. Missed both of them. Cog's gonna come out, the split's been used. They're gonna try and stack up the razors. Afon down to half HP. Needs to throw out the boat, but it's too late for him. He's already gone. And they'll just sidestep it. Velior getting pretty low, but Immersion can't hang around, taking too much damage. Illidan, he joins in the rotation and overwhelms them with the damage coming out from the Pulse Nova.
And they have the Chen Siege creep for this push too. Although it's awkward with all these creeps here. It's a 5-man rotation. You really want to get this tower if you can. Especially because Kunkka almost has the enemy tower.
It's interesting to see this kind of change in the dynamic of push or mid, right? Because for a while, it was actually up to the supports. Like, I remember I was asking a few pro players, when do you actually look to have a mid ganked? When do you look to have that lane reset for you? And they go, actually, if the supports come to my lane, I want to set up a push instantly afterwards. And teams seem to be just committing to these 5-mans now to ensure that that tower falls.
Right. It's basically... Things are super based on trends. Like, you'll have a team commit like 1 or 2 heroes to defending tier 1. All of a sudden, people start sending more heroes to it. They commit 3 or 4 heroes to defending a tier 1. All of a sudden, there's just 5v5 mid every game. And the reason for that is because, like, in general, when it comes to ganks and rotations, the purpose is not for kills. Kills do not matter in Dota. What the purpose is changing your orientation on the map or pressuring a tower. Like, there should always be a strategic reason that you're going for a rotation. And if it's for a tower and people are responding, you don't get the tower with that rotation. Even if you get a kill, it can be bad. So that's why, like, sending 5 people to take a tower, if it's necessary, it's going to be worth it.
That's a fair way of looking at it. It's that kind of gradual pacing, right? Because the mid is in the center of the map. It just makes sense. Like, if you want to transition to a push top or bot, you're going to be passing through there anyway, so you might as well get the maximum value on the
right, exactly. Yep, it's early game rotations are all about combining different power spikes.
It's damage. They throw out the Doom straight well in the Illidan. They want to get him, but there's a clap coming out. BCZ slowing things up. Merchant is chasing, but this pony may be a little bit too fast for him. He's sidestepping. He's suspicious. There's the hook shot coming out. Velior breaking up the fight, forces out the Ignis. This 3 hero is stuck in it, but the boat will only connect on the 1. Immersion throws out the stun to 2. Illidan is fine to actually attack now. These Greaves or Mech rather, and it looks like he's going to be fine as the Doom has ran out. Illidan now wants to turn around fight. The split is off cooldown. They'll use it straight away. Boat buff is running out, and Afon is going to feel it. He will fall.
He just stops.
He knows. He's like, well, my Bram buff is gone. I'm dead, and so's Immersion as well. Bonus kills happening as Gambit are punished for their move.
Yeah, that was looking like it was going to be really good, but there's a little bit of miscommunication between, like, they were focusing the clock. On the back end, we had Immersion on the Nyx Assassin stunning 2 people that weren't in range to get focused because of the cogs. Oh, now Doom
That's a big mistake. What was he? Was he trying to cut the wave?
I think so. He's just trying to, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth it. You're just setting up a double wave too. Like, sure, you're defending for like a second, but there's 2 waves now going to bot, and now if you want to defend this, you have to send everybody. I don't think just the bot can defend this.
The blink dagger on BCC. BCC got it right before the fight, and everything's lining up really well for All Black Gold now. You know, you have maxed out Edict, you have the mechanism on G, you got blink dagger on BCC as well, rushing it instead of going for the Vlads this game first.
Hook shot.
And Valor looks to get her pickup.
Yeah, he's looking on Immersion, who's just trying to break the code. He's like, must make my escape, but I've seen this before, and it was depressing for the Knicks last time. It'll be depressing again. Can't even stun in time.
Yeah, that hero just destroys Nyx Assassin. You do not have the duration on Spiked Carapace. Oh, actually, he does have the duration on Spiked Carapace. Still not enough. Because you walk into the cogs, and it just knocks you back, and you catch up in that duration. The battery assault is just such a problem for the Nyx Assassin.
Interesting to see maybe Clock start to sneak back into the meta, considering that we have been seeing an influx of Nyx picks, and as we just highlight, it does seem like the counter.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's good against a lot of other heroes in the meta too. Like, it's good against Bruin Lane. It's good against like Leshrac. Decent against Kunkka because magic damage. Kunkka has like high armor. Goes for armlet. Hard to kill, but you have this damage over time, right? It's not this burst damage hero. It's a lot of heroes that can't be killed by most heroes in Dota. Clock can kill because battery assault does what? How much? 1,760 total damage at level 7. So there's very few heroes that Clock can't kill. As long as they can't get out of cogs or can't get away from him, he will kill the hero.
Especially in a game like this, when you talk about heroes like the Doom that attack so slow, the Nyx as well. Speaking of which, it's just rinse repeat. He's found him again. BZZ even joins in on the party this time around, and this is probably the least impact we've seen out of Immersion on Nyx so far.
And he's going to have a Spirit Vessel on the Clockwork soon. So with the buffs to this item being better for aggressive purposes, this is going to let the Clockwork scale to be a very effective hero in the late game, because even though that 1,760 damage does not scale, generally, if you put the Spirit Vessel on somebody who's full HP and you drop the Battery Assault, there is almost no amount of strength items that you can get that will give you HP that you can survive through that. Because the Spirit Vessel, of course, is percentage-based damage, and then the Battery Assault will finish you off. So it's going to allow him to be way more of a core in this game.
It's fair, especially against the Doom. He's just going to feel like paper. A hero that's usually renowned for how tanky he is.
Kunkka, too. Like very high regen heroes.
Everything's just lining up so nice. You got Greaves. It's going to be coming out as soon as the courier. You're going to have Vlad's very close now. Oh, yeah. Vlad's is finished up as well for BCC because he's got the Basilius on the courier. So it looks like they might just go for another tier 1 top, maybe get Roche, and then just go for almost a finishing blow.
They definitely want to try for that because Medusa almost had, well, she's not close to the BKB. She went for the Sajin Yasha first, kind of like a little, first item to get. You want to just rush the straight BKB. She's going for BKB next, though. Kunkka also is going for the BKB after Armlet. So I think once they have BKBs, that's a good timing for Gambit because there is nothing but physical damage, but magical damage on the side of Old But Gold. So BKB is really solid timing in this game.
They're going to try and exploit the fact that they can't handle the magic damage. Split comes out if they blink in. Ignis does get dropped. That's going to drop the Brew, and there's the Doom. They actually push Illidan pretty deep. The Hand of God might not actually protect him. He's taking a lot of damage here, trying to move away. Scorched Earth is activated. Be enough time. Looks like Illidan won't be killed off. Still only a level 1 Doom, so the DPS isn't high. Requiem being charged up preemptively to make sure that it's not interrupted on the X drawback. Afon holding the boat still. Hasn't thrown it out there. It's going to come now. Stun on the G. Going to throw out the Guardian Greaves. Tries to run the tree to escape. Illidan trying to cover him, but they are just pursuing this hook shot. Fluffed by Velio. G on the side. Going to be pushed back towards Immersion, who wants to try and actually go for the big Vendetta hit. Can he do enough, though? He's going to get pretty low. X back as well. Tries to turn around. He's taken way too much damage here, though, and he will go down. Heals up. Comes down. Older Kulich is fine, and that will signal Old But Gold to retreat.
Good Doom on the Leshrac. Forces Chen to basically spend his entire time just trying to save the Leshrac. He was kind of zoned out of the fight, so sometimes if you Doom the Leshrac, it's not great because he runs in Pulse Novas. But with the low HP pool that he has, Leshrac has no stat. Like his only stat item is a wand, which is 3 stats, and a circlet. Other than that, he has Yule Scepter and Arcane Boots. This guy has no HP whatsoever. So you doom him, you press 1 spell on him, he has to run. And that completely botched the fight for the side of Old But Gold.
Yeah, I'm also worried about his level. He just got level 10 now, and I mean, the Clockwork's level 8. Okay, he got an amazing start, but it still feels like you kind of want to have a bit more levels on the Leshrac. You're going to get the armor count now, which is useful, but you know, getting the movement speed or the strength, which I would assume he's probably going to go for the strength this game, is going to be very helpful once he gets 15. But before that, it's quite hard to just survive if you get doomed, and this is really...
Would love to see the stat items come out too. He's got 2,000 gold.
They're good on him right now as well. The hook shot won't stop the death of Illidan. Instead, Velio has to run for the high hills. He'll get out.
He's so squishy.
It's a problem.
So squishy.
And he's your frontliner because he has to hit the towers. And a Van score? That's...
You know why he did that? Because he brought the SF in. He's like, oh shit, I don't want to be that guy that just brings my SF in to die. So he sacked himself so that wouldn't happen. That's so funny. I don't know if that was necessary, but it's like, you don't want to bring your SF in to a fight he doesn't want to go to and then have him just instantly die. That's not good for morale.
That was like Boromir in Lord of the Rings, where he's just like, go on without me, live. Belial, he won't be that lucky though. He's not gonna live.
It's like Boromir. We don't need to abandon you. We're fine.
I mean, that was more like Faramir, you know, the insignificant child on the side that people forgot about.
True.
Well, that's happening actually. He finally killed Kulich.
That's a nice pickoff. Midas off cooldown and Devourer off cooldown.
And Doom as
real
well.
Sad.
Everything in fact.
21 seconds. You just sit in fountain staring at your Midas. Anxiety.
Just sweat on the brow, and then when you respawn, you've got a question like, do I go to lane and defend, or do I go to shrine and Midas?
You Midas 100% of the time. I don't care if it's right or wrong. It feels right. The heart wants what the heart wants.
Gotta get
there he goes. There he goes.
And Devour. There we go.
Oh, my anxiety.
I like that he's actually keeping the ice armor though. This is something we've seen a few Doom players really prioritize.
That's really good.
Although in this type of game, I am then looking at Oldbergo's lineup where, magical damage, magical damage. There's a lot of magical damage here.
Yeah.
But isn't it quite useful for putting on the towers against the Leshrac? Just reducing the edict damage, right?
Yeah, that's a fair shot.
I don't think you can with the... You could do that with the Lich armor.
Okay, I guess it might not work with... Oh, yeah, you might not be able to put the full star.
I was going to say, this is kind of like... You basically, he has the old Lich armor right now, except you can't put it on towers. Yeah,
you can't put it on. Yeah. If you would have been able to put it in towers, then it would have been perfect against the Lich. But I guess it takes away some of the edict damage, at least, that you have on heroes, which is fairly useful.
Yeah, a lot of the time there's...
Mostly magic, but that is negated by Kunkka most of the times, and they're also all going BK.
Right. So it's like a lot of the time there's tons of magic damage on one team, but you still need like a few right clicks to finish somebody off, just based on like how much HP people have in Dota. So it's nice to just prevent that little bit of extra damage, maybe save somebody 10% HP. Like you said, the Kunkka also helps out a lot in that, making these fights a lot easier in terms of negating the magic.
Yeah, the only thing I would see with the Doom is once the game goes a bit later, getting a Hellbear for the attack speed from Medusa or the Wolf is going to be useful. But for now, the Ice Armor still feels very nice.
Vlad's plus the Alpha Wolf is nuts. You're just giving almost 50% extra damage to your whole team. You just stand around and you're so effective.
I almost feel like I'm doing this on purpose, but I'm really not. Every time I look at Aphon, he's failing X cleave. He's just trying to walk out, hit the creep wave, and he's always short. I think that's the second time I've just clicked on him and sent it now in a row. Immersion?
He's scared, man.
Well, Immersion's very scared and very surrounded. 5 heroes here. They love the Nyx. And, they see FNG, but BCC can't get close enough. Can get close to this tier 2, however, and they've got a catapult incoming.
You know who they need to get close to? The Coddle. If they want to take these engagements, if they can kill the Coddle first, that's a really good way to screw up Gambit's team fights. It's just such an easy hero to kill, and he does so much with the Blinding Light, Will-O-Wisp, and Illuminates to defend.
Jules coming out. Drac trying to actually make sure he's not in trouble here. Boat is going to come through. Split out from BCC. SF will get stunned up. BKB by Dahak as Velio's gone pretty deep. Here's going to be split up from his team. Low on HP, should fall. And there's Ignis going down. Just traps him in. The Doom was already thrown out on Lestrak. The Hand of God's been used. Illidan will live. They will get everyone out. In fact, even Velior escapes alive.
It's awkward, yeah. Nobody died on either side. But you get the tower on Old But Gold, so you're okay with that. You've wasted Medusa's first BKB charge.
And not only that, right? Think what was actually used. You only use your split. They used the boat, not the biggest deal, but they also used, as you said, the BKB, the Doom, and they used the Will-O-Wisp.
Yep. So you could probably look to just take a fight here. They don't have a smoke on anybody. So they're just pinging the bot lane. We're just going to push out the lanes, abuse the fact that they can't kill us, they can't fight us. So they're probably not going to look to gank these side lanes here. Although, as I say that, Doom's really running at this SF top.
He could be in trouble, actually. The hook shot is available. So in level 1, though. They're scouting him out. The pings come in, and Akulich, he knows his days are numbered. There's the hook shot in. The cogs are there. And in a moment, he will no longer be there.
That Spear Vessel, so effective against the Doom, as we can see there. Negates the entire hero's purpose with the Devour, giving you that 18 regen.
You know, he's basically the big tongue to the ice cream that is this Doom.
Yeah.
Gets to slop it all up. G,
well said.
Getting a little bit low there. Clap's going to come out for BZZ. No split for 30 seconds, but there's going to be a split off into Medusa to make sure they get the tower. And now they need to run. Kunkka has got the boat and the BKB. He's going to be forced to throw out the BKB, holding on to the boat in the meantime. It's finally going to come out. X is there on the G. Just wants to lock him on the spot. But the Guardian Greaves, nowhere near enough damage to kill him off. Clap from BZZ. 15 seconds still until he's got the split. BKB online from Dahak. Gonna use it with the Stone Gaze. Force him away. Velior dragged back, possibly towards his death, but he's so damn tanky. It looks like he might be fine, despite Carapace stuns him up prematurely. But they can't finish off the kill because Illidan, he's so damn tanky. Think it was just not even 5 minutes ago, I think, that we were complaining about Lestrak being too damn squishy, and now look at him. Immersion in trouble. The split now available. BZZ gonna dive the tower. Cyclone's gonna come out into the cult, and when he comes down, there's a big mess waiting to kill him off. The Ignis does get dropped, drags them all in. Buyback's gonna come up from Nyx right now, but they're just gonna split away from this, zone them out. BZZ will give his life to keep his cause alive, but Illidan getting low on HP. He will fall. No way to get away from this. The Doom thrown out straight away onto the SF. Hesitation with the torrent hitting onto 2. They're gonna find him. They'll probably find Vanscore as well. Velior, he won't get out. It looks like they might actually lose everyone at this rate. And they actually got the deny at least, as he just shouted out. Gee, he will be killed off by his own teammates, but still a huge team fight loss for the side of Old But Gold.
I mean, it's strange because there was a buyback on Nyx. You get the deny at SF, you get the tower as well, and I mean, it's not that bad. The problem here is that the bounties are about to spawn. And there's this time where you're dead where Gambit is just farming. So this is where the gold lead is going to come from that fight. It's just the downtime. So they're going to get all the bounties on Gambit. We're going to see about a 3 to 4k gold lead. Oh god, Bruiser can see being bought to try to get the bounties. Yeah, that was a 2k swing, 3k swing in the downtime where they're dead. Not that's from really the fight, from the downtime.
It's an incredible fight to take, and now obviously we've seen the BKB being up on the Hawk, and Afterlife is finishing up his BKB as well now, getting very close, and then we, as well as Afro, of course, had it in that fight. So now we get the triple BKB core, and it makes it really, really hard for Old But Gold to fight into Gambit now if they just want to run at. Even we saw the Brewmaster split wasn't that strong. The Hawk just killed it off.
And this is really the only move that Old But Gold have. They need this Aegis. This isn't this would be nice, this would help us. If they try and approach the base of Gambit now without this, they just get shredded.
Yeah, this is like the one last resort. I think the BKBs completely hard counter the Old But Gold
they're coming.
Trap. Yeah, it's not fast enough.
Torrent's going to slow them down. They can interrupt this BCC. He has got the split. Just about got the man as well. Innis going to go down. Hook shot in. On the call, but too late. He's already dropped his ult. He's done his piece. Who's going to get the Aegis is the real question. Back moving in right now. Stone Gaze, he picks up the Aegis and gets the kill on Roshan. And now with the boat full up, they've got the damage. Just melt through Chen. They'll get through Illidan as well. And that Requiem, that is a please don't kill me while I'm in the corner Requiem. He'll try to find Immersion. Going to get him low. He might tick out, but even if he does, value has been found as they're going to run G through. Buyback did come out from Illidan. Way too late to assist the rest of his team. Velior caught up by the X is going to be dragged towards his death. This mana steal is way too much from Dahak. And Velior will take a while, but he should go down. Dahak taking a lot of damage, but does have that Aegis. Maybe you tick him out, but Illidan, he'll probably give his life for this. The X will draw him back. Jules try and dodge that out. Odakulich's going to keep on chasing. Throws out the Doom. Says, oh, hell, why not? Dance with me, Disco Pony. I'm about to send you to a glue factory. Velio going to be dragged back again by the X. Clockwork, a man who we said had done so much in this early game, just completely and utterly controlled constantly by this Kunkka. And now he's moved on to bigger targets. BZZ next on the hit list. He should fall as well. And this should instantly be a push towards the base of All But Gold.
Yeah, these fights are basically just BKBs. Old But Gold can't really do anything when it comes to the BKBs. And the Kunkka's been putting in a lot of work in these fights. Just the constant torrents and boats and X's. They're getting completely kited on Old But Gold.
It kind of complements Gambit. I guess you could say, like the draft, you look at it, you go, okay, they have a lot of sustain, and oh, they might have more kills. Hookshot coming out. Tahak actually cancels the TP. Wants to fight, but realizes Older Kulich is done and dusted. Trying to move away, but Velio straight on top the whole time. He will turn around now. The Snake as well. Velio has to back away, and Older Kulich kept alive by that sudden turnaround from Medusa.
Nice.
But I guess the point I was going to hit on, actually, like, you look at these drafts, right, Weapons, it's just the sustain. There's a lot of sustain, right? You got the boat, you got Medusa, you've got this kind of attritional battle going on. But when you look on the side of All But Gold, the way their draft plays with this Leshrac, you're kind of complementing the way that Gambit wants to play. You're not suddenly nuking someone down immediately at the start of fights.
Yeah, you really want to, or I mean, All But Gold obviously have sustained damage coming out, and the boat buff is just doing so much work again. Like, staying alive with it is really making the difference, I feel. The boat buff's just keeping them alive, and then obviously the BKBs on top makes it so the cores can do kind of what they want. And then Immersion, obviously, in there, since there are no BKBs on the side of All But Gold, he's in there with his Carapace, gets Carapace stuns procced on Illidan since he can't control the Edict damage or the Pulse Nova. And then you can just follow that up. And with Illidan going for this Bloodstone, he's down to 8 charges now. Dying twice is not good at all.
I think Affin is doing a really good job too at holding the boat. He's not just using it right at the start of the fight to initiate. He's using it as, like you said, more of a defensive thing, just with the boat rum to keep his team alive. So he's using it like after a couple of torrents, after his Medusa goes in and uses BKB.
Yeah, it's not a damaging tool for him in this game. Right. It's more of a survive all the damage that comes out from.
Speaking of Illidan, he's been found again. The Ignis went down, held him on the spot, and that's literally the most valuable kill Gambit can find.
Oh yeah. There's no way for Illidan right now to deal with the Ignis. He's a Leshrac. He doesn't right click it. It's basically just the SF that can right click it, but it's a Guardian Greaves SF. He does have the Sanjin Yasha now, but no BKB, no Force Staff, just as like the Yule Scepter. So if he just gets Ignis, he's dead. He's screwed.
I do like the creep swap up as well for Doom. Getting the Purge creep for the Yules makes it so there's literally no way he can get out of it. You can also, I believe, dispel Divine Favor.
Yeah.
So it's just a very useful ability to have right now. Obviously, the Wolf creep is nice. They aren't really lacking in damage either. It helps you do more damage, but the Purge creep is just really high value at the moment, and it helps them out.
You kind of feel like the Divine Favor has lost its value, right? Like we talked very early on about how great it was in the lane for Brewmaster combo with the big crits, but he's going to be splitting these fights. And your SF, he doesn't build this big physical damage build. He's going in these Guarding Greaves. He's looking to nuke through this area of the game. It's not like you've got a Gyrocopter, for example, or an Ursa that gets these huge damage spikes on top of what they do. That double stun coming in. Jump in. Doom's going to be there as well. Torrent boat. Everything on the Shadow Fiend going to get him low. Split's going to come out. Older Kulich moving forward. The Shadow Fiend, they're trying to keep him alive with the Hand of God. It's not going to be enough. He will fall. Illidan just being ignored because those BKBs still doing all the work. Spike Carapace coming out. Big cleave damage. X there as well. Illidan trying for the split earth play. Immersion. He's going to force stuff away. He stays alive. Beautifully done by FNG to keep his fellow support alive. Now Torrent Vanscore. He's almost down. GG comes out actually as they just submit. Gambit take game 1.
That is honestly just the power of BKB timings. You have this like timing-based lineup against a late game team. You have no damage to go, through the BKBs. You basically have to end the game at below 30 minutes, or you go to the hyper late game where you have like sheep sticks, nullifiers, things like that. But I don't think you want to go there against Doom, Kunkka, and Medusa. So,
definitely not. And I thought the Midas might bite Doom in the ass, but it actually helped him out get that BKB timing together with all the other 3 cores, and then they just could take fights at their own choices and then just keep on winning those fights.
Let's look at the damage. 21,000 from Doom. Would you expect that? He's actually doing like a ton of damage that game.
I do like the difference in Doom builds that we've seen lately from some of the Doom players, maxing out Scorched Earth and then going for the damage instead of the movement speed.
Yeah.
It makes him do a lot of damage in fights, especially against a team like this that didn't end up going for any of the BKBs. And I mean, G was on his way, but he went for an SNY in between and just keep pumping up a lot of magic damage in the fights. Sure, the pipe helps a bit, but the Scorched Earth can burn through.
That's an interesting point as well, right? Because you go back, I mean, not even, I'd say a month, 2 months ago, people weren't really looking at Scorched Earth seriously. Like, okay, actually, the way we perceive this hero is you basically max out Devour and you become unkillable. And that's great.
Yeah, the thing about that, though, is that the way they changed how regen works, it doesn't scale with your strength. So, like, Devour, it said that it gave you, like, whatever, 5 regen at level 1, but really because Doom has strength, and as you leveled up, like, it would give you more and more and more and more. So you'd see Doom with, like, plus 120 regen, something ridiculous like that. It doesn't scale like that anymore. So the Devour loses its value, and therefore the playing Doom as that, like, or a frontliner tank kind of hero loses its value, and that's why, like, the Drum's phase boots makes a lot more sense, because then you're kind of that old, like, ganking, you use the Doom in the fight, you have the movement speed, you're super fast, running people down, like, kind of being more of an aggressive hero, because the defensive hero just isn't really there anymore. It's still not bad. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad at all. Like, you can go aura items on any offlaner, but for Doom, like, this build was good before, and now with the changes, it's even better.
Yeah, makes you definitely more aggressive if you want to be that.
But as a result of that, Gambit take a 1-game lead after this first game. That means that this could be a quick day with a 2-0, or perhaps All But Gold have something to say about that. Maybe they got a wrench to throw in the works. I mean, they did have a wrench to throw in the works of the draft meta by bringing out that Caller Strack. Not able to pay off this time. Maybe they come back in the second game and look to have a little bit more physical damage, and we see a totally different game. There are so many maybes, so many ifs, buts, and whatevers. But before we get to those, we've got to ram some sweet, sweet, beautiful smelling ads in your face and get replenished for game 2. Back soon. Hear that, guys? That is the hard typing of Jenkins putting in his bet numbers for this series. He's got an inside leg. Nah, we're just messing with you. We're legit. We're here. We're ready to get underway with Gambit versus Old But Gold, game number 2 of this best of 3. And we've already got a few picks appearing. Something a little bit familiar from the last game in the Doom. And the Grimstrike, actually. So we're going for the old combat. Wait, is this just... I'm pretty sure we've time traveled here, Weppers. This is the old patch, right? Because we've got Doom, Grimstroke, and then we've got Lifestealer.
Yeah, looking forward to that a lot, actually. Should be fun to see, and definitely going back a bit when it comes to patch. I mean, it's still a very strong combo, especially against the Lifestealer.
I actually personally don't think time travel is possible, so what you said is incorrect.
Sorry, we've basically gone so far through time that we've looped on ourselves, which technically isn't time travel, it's time looping.
Are you telling me we teleported into this situation, jackass?
Yeah, but time looping sounds kind of cooler. Teleporting is overused. From now on, Nature's Prophet time loop. But if you think about it, Nature's Prophet is a time looper, right? Because he teleports to base, then back again. It's basically time looping.
He's basically like Doc Brown from Back to the Past.
I like how you're not flaming me for this. In fairness, this whole theory has more foundation than flat earthers, so I got that going for me.
You mean regular earthers?
What? Oh, whoa. I mean, the only world I know is Dota world, and this...
You know what? Is the Dota world flat?
That's a good question. Isn't there like a cinematic video where it's like Elder Titan splitting the Earth in two and it's circular?
Like as in circular or spherical?
As spherical.
Okay. I'll believe it when I see it.
If there isn't, I'm going to go into Source Filmmaker and make one now, okay? And
then it becomes canon, right?
Like, you don't even have to do high production value. I mean, wonderfully enough, Slacks has helped us with lowering, like, the budget for these things. You can just basically make it funny, and it doesn't have to look crisp. We're putting those poor animators over at Valve out of jobs.
Yeah, and just in generally lowering the quality of production and just in general, like, you know, it's good for the rest of us. You don't have to work as hard. Anyway, we got a draft.
We have, and this hero, we saw him sneak in once yesterday. I don't know if it was Gambit who picked him, but the Witch Doctor's been a weird one, right? Like, it's been this hero that you can kind of sense why teams want to try and jump back on the bandwagon with the buff to Maledict's cooldown, but it's still struggling to offer the same level of aggression alternative supports do in the current meta.
Yeah, we saw Ursa blinking and blowing this hero up. This is like such a good target for Ursa. One of the squishy supports, 0 armor, low armor, I should say. Very valuable to have around in a fight, but extremely hard to keep alive. Ursa is just in love with this guy in team fights. Also, against the Lifestealer, Ursa can lane incredibly well. One of the few heroes that doesn't care about the rage throughout the entire game. Once Lifestealer has all of the evasion sources, then Ursa typically will have a Monkey King bar. So like Ursa is just generally a very strong counter to this Lifestealer hero. And so is that hero. Wow. Against Shadow Demon? Very confident in that pick against the Ursa, probably. Ursa Doom, like these two heroes don't do well against Batrider and lane at all. You just run them down with the magic damage, with the napalm, you can kite them. But Shadow Demon, of course, naturally pretty good counter to the bat. You just pre-Q him, or you Q the person that gets lassoed, and of course you have the single target save, and Batrider is just like purely single target damage, single target focus oriented, I should say.
Do they seem maybe more focused on the delivery mechanisms for Lifestealer right now than what Old But Gold's actually picking? It feels that way, right? Because as you just said, there's a Shadow Demon. You just pick that straight away.
Yeah, possibly. Good with the Earth Spirit, good with the Batrider. You have the Witch Doctor Ultimate to pair up with the Batrider Lasso as well. Pretty good combination in these heroes. It's just against a Shadow Demon, you know, single target, not that great.
And I'm guessing the Old But Gold are contemplating what they can maybe squeeze into the draft that gets more value out of the Grimstroke. Any ideas on that, folks?
If it's a Shadow Demon mid, they could run a Lich. It's just, you know, classic combo. I have seen Shadow Demon mid. Thompson plays that.
And he's
more
a
so on
TI
clubs.
winner, so it's 100% legit, folks.
I'm not sure if G plays that though, but thinking of G heroes, I mean, if you want to add some pushing powers, it might not be the most amazing, but I mean, Dragon Knight's still okay when it comes to that. You get a double stun out of it. Adds a lot of pushing power since the Ursa isn't really a tower hitter. Since for a very long time we haven't seen the old when
Deso.
Ursa was in the meta last before when people went Deso to push with Ursa. We haven't really seen that for a very long time now. With Ursa coming back, so it definitely could be a possibility. I don't know. It suffers a bit against magic damage, obviously, with both the Bat Rider and the Maledict coming out of Witch Doctor. But if they feel confident with it, it could be an option. It's definitely a pipe builder if you want to have it like that.
You could also go for Pugna here. Could work fairly well, right? Depending on what Gambit pick, because that gives you good push and you get the double life drain.
Honestly, I'm thinking Broodmother. Like, what do you have to deal with the Broodmother on the side of Gambit? There's nothing. This is looking like a broodable game. Does G play Brood?
I think so.
This is feeling real broodable. You could be a huge problem. SF is not bad against it, but if you can send your spiders at him and he doesn't get the the medium raise on you on the spiders, the single raise will not kill the spiders. Like, you can actually kill an SF. It's very hard to time that given how fast the spiders run, like the level 3 or level 4 webs. It's not that bad against SF if you know the matchup. They only have 6 seconds to pick though, so not much time to think about this at all. And they pick Medusa.
That's, I want to say optimal, but it feels kind of slow against what Gambit have, which is weird when Gambit's running a lifestealer.
We keep seeing this Medusa against SF, and teams are picking it afterwards, almost as if like Medusa timing counters. Let's theory craft this here for a second. So, because teams keep doing this, so I think there's got to be a reason for it. Like Shadow Fiend, you go this mech build. Is it because he has all these like heals and sustains, and you just throw the snake and you stop the push not by like damaging them, but by just draining their mana, kind of like Medusa, or sorry, Invoker, like the Quas Wex build. It's kind of like you.
It definitely feels like that, especially with the low 15, right? That's when you get the increased drain on the snake. And then if you just get some good bounces with the snake, you kind of just halt the push, especially if you force them to use Guardian Greaves before it's actually like necessary. Then it really helps out. And it's also one of those heroes that it's, especially late game, it's always going to be strong against Lifestealer, because even if you have the increased rage duration, it doesn't matter if Medusa pops her ultimate, you still can't run against the hero.
Yeah, exactly. And I do feel like the fact that Medusa has she has the two timings that everybody talks about. You know, the late game timing. Of course, Medusa is like one of the strongest late game heroes in the game. Get Scotty, get attack modifiers, talent. You get maybe potential rapier, come unkillable. But there's also this timing in the early game where she's like a walking tower, and I feel like that timing lines up really nicely, as well as with the mana drain, with when SF wants to push towers. So like it kind of makes sense. And then in lane, SF can't just keep triple raising you because you are constantly draining his mana, and he has a low mana pool, but high mana cost relative to his mana pool. His raises cost like a third of his mana.
Yeah. I like the change up though from Afro this game. As you can see, he's going change up. I mean, it was G playing it last game, and he also got souls. Just getting raises level 1 since he knows that he might not be able to last it early on with the damage difference, and then gonna try and rush into a bottle so he can try and keep the mana up if he gets hit by a snake at least, so he can keep less hit.
Yeah, these mangoes and bottles and things like that are just great against the mana burn, because you sit at, I think Killer Pigeon was saying this yesterday, you sit at 10% mana and Medusa Mystic Snakes you. She's not getting anything back from that. She's getting basically nothing. If you're sitting at full mana, she's obviously going to get mana back. So you just use the raises with the bottle at low mana, and it hurts Medusa's laning quite a bit.
These kind of became like more valuable, right? Because you're talking about this Agi matchups involving the Medusa. It used to be the go-to was I'd have Aquila and I'd just be able to spam out. That being gone now, there's not the same value going Bassi, because then you have kind of a dead item that you want to just shift out of as quickly as possible, but you're not going to build a Vlads on most of these mid-heroes. Right.
Bassi's basically just like you build into Vlad's or you build into Urn plus Medallion. That's it. There's not much of a reason to get it on most Agi heroes, even though they'd like to.
Maybe if you play that boss for Agi hero. You know, Roman
Maybe.
Ursa. That's one that can do it. That's one that can justify it.
Sure. Give her a go. Ursa solo. They're just letting him solo up here against the Bat Earth Spirit. I guess what's the point in just losing this lane with 2 heroes instead of 1?
This is kind of
pressure.
Well, Illidan kind of fits this criteria of just if you leave me alone, I'll come back in. It's the I like to call it kind of the old school style of CIS carrying, right? Like him and Silent are perfect examples of players that for years were doing this. Like you just give me 10 minutes space and I'll end the game. So maybe they're just going to try and force as much attention from Gambit on the other lanes and have him sneak in later.
Yeah, sure. I mean, they actually did rotate Vanscore up top, but I don't think it's going to help out too much. Batrider is just so incredible against Ursa. In fact, if he can get level 2 on Bat, Ursa's dead right now. But he's not going to get level 2 because the wave is cut, unfortunately. But he's zoning him under the tower at least, preventing all of these last hits.
Well,
God, if he could get level 2 on Bat, Ursa's going to die. But the creeps are not going to die.
He's keeping them. I gotta give him credit. He's keeping those stacks up pretty nicely. He might continue to do so. Yeah, Illidan doesn't have a stick either, so he just has to. You can see how far back. Look how far he's retreated.
Yeah. Bat's just trying desperately to get the level 2, but now the stacks have worn out. Unfortunate with the pull on the wave, but you know it's almost always good to pull that wave. It just gives you so much. Gives you a wave of advantage, and you can just zone the Ursa under the tower. That's still super valuable. It's just not a kill. That's all.
Did you see how far back they pulled that? Look where Immersion and Vanscore, they went between the tier 2 and tier 3 here.
Yeah, Immersion got level 2 for that. Level 2 Earth Spirit, much scarier than that level 1 Earth Spirit. 105 damage, Ultra Smash. It's quite a lot of damage, and the slow's really nice as well, 60%.
I think that was kind of one of the big, interesting parts of when they changed the Boulder Smash around. Is a lot of people will complain, oh, this will spell the end of Earth Spirit. And then there's some players going, actually, you just look at this. It's not that it's a pretty powerful slow. It's now a nuke, and well, it just came into effect in the mid lane. Immersion with the first blood on a G.
It's a very nice rotation. That early level 2. And also Medusa's in lane mostly because of pulling creeps and such. They don't want to have the mana shield on. They want to toggle it for when you're actually harassing a hero and can't get hit by creeps. So they just catch him with the mana shield down. And Shadowfee in level 2 races does a lot of damage.
And Medusa has one of the lowest HP pools in the game as well. So without that mana shield, she is just squishy as all hell.
She just lost most of that mana as well. Nice punishment coming out from Alphon, getting the triple raise.
He's got the stick too, so he's going for raindrops. He's really going for like the mana regen build just so that he has the kill potential with the raises here. I love this build from him actually.
I'm surprised.
You don't really need the damage versus Medusa anyway.
Well, I'm surprised we're not seeing a stick, or at least a full wand, I'd say, out of G should be applying, right? Because you know you're going to get decent charges against the Shadowfee.
Yeah, even for that, just the HP regen from the harass.
Oh, there's a move top. Well, there's a slight miss of kill 1 or 2 by me. Which, when I say 1 or 2, that's probably not good considering it's been 2 kills.
Come on, Weapus.
Yeah, Weapus, what is this camera work right now? I mean, did you not... We pay you, he's like, hey, I want to be main stage because Scriff's been doing videos where he's on screen. I'm like, yeah, just make sure you don't screw up the camera work. 2 jobs is harder than 1. And he was like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. You plebs just talk, it's easy.
Exactly, it's easy to just talk and look at the game. No, but the power of that Earth Spirit Batrider lane really shows there, especially against Ursa early on. It's also a lot of pressure, but being able to kill the Grimstroke is definitely useful. Keep the pressure up because, like I mentioned before, it's definitely a winning lane for Gambit's side.
I feel like Batrider as a hero right now, maybe not his entire niche, because I do think he's really good when you go for like the travels build. Oh, mid lane.
Going in. SF takes a lot of damage, but Velio takes more. Luckily for him, the haste is still running, or he would be very much dead.
Anyway, going back to the Batrider, this hero is just such a trump pick in a lot of games where, like, how could you rotate to deal with the Bat right now? Medusa doesn't want to lane the Bat, Doom doesn't want to lane the Bat, Ursa doesn't want to lane the Bat. Like, somebody has to lose to the Bat. That's just the problem with Batrider. If there's no Slark or PL or some hero or like Weaver that deals with him, it's just a guaranteed stomp lane.
Yeah, you really can't rotate on the hero. You have to rotate to lane against the hero. You just have to rotate to kill the hero, and this early on, you don't really have that kill potential. I mean, sure, you have some setup, but it's most likely not going to be enough. And especially if the Bat Rider get a couple of stacks before the rotation comes in, he can just kite you around with the turn speed, and you're just never going to be able to kill him.
Yep. And he's going for the travels first too. I absolutely love this build.
Yeah.
It gives you this ability to push out lanes and then simultaneously show up for fights that have occurred because you've split the enemy team up. Travels on Bat is honestly so strong in this patch. It makes him like a Nature's Prophet-esque hero, except better at ganking. You can kill people solo in lanes and then show up to a fight.
That's a fair point. It's like, it's a transactional aspect of this guy. You just mentioned the lanes, and then you go into that. I feel like, actually, we've reached a stage where this hero is, or maybe not for long, more annoying than, I want to say... Let's be realistic. He's going to... Look at him. He's just going to live. He's just going to just kite it all out, and instead Van Squash taking a lot of damage. Roll through is going to be there, but they can't pursue because of the poison. But, I mean, this is what I was about to hit on, right? We think of elusive heroes, annoying heroes. He's probably on the level of Puck, almost the level of Puck now in terms of this elusiveness and the frustration of trying to find and kill him.
Yeah, because the Firefly, the movement speed that he gets when he goes for Windlace. Alpha Ninja gets killed on Doom with the help of the Witch Doctor, double damage her.
Everything's going their way wrong. And that's the thing you see, one of the more, I would say, underrated aspects of the stick and napalm that a lot of people sometimes don't think about is definitely the turn rate. And you see that. You just go towards the side a bit with Bat Rider, and suddenly you have to turn way more and you turn slower to be able to actually get your abilities off. It's fairly easy to just kite away against supports that doesn't have proper lockdowns in the sense of, you know, a follow-up stun to the Shadow Demon disruption. You only have the charge-up stun from Grimstroke. And if you don't time it perfectly, then, you know, he's just going to run away and kite you around.
Well, even if you get it perfectly, I mean, we saw what happened there, right? Because it's based on how long you keep that Inkswell on them. If you don't initially charge it before Bat Rider comes out of the disruption, you're not going to catch him. Bot lane. Doom. He just died recently, and Witch Doctor wants to make sure it happens again with the Malik down. There's no doubt there, and FNG even gets the kill.
Daxic is just having such an easy game down here. I think SF's life is easy. He's spam taunting. That's all I can hear. He's got nothing better to do. He's just free farming.
Okay, what's more annoying? Is it the Lifestealer taunt or the Void taunt?
Oh my god, definitely the Void taunt.
You agree, Weppers?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I can kind of appreciate that. I remember in my early casting days when I had that in one game, and it's all I could hear, and we were talking about that lane. It's like, can we just talk about another lane right now? Like, why? This taunt is just driving me nuts.
I guess it's like, I assume that Void players are just dumber than Lifestealer players. Lifestealer players are usually pretty high skill, so I just get annoyed by like dumb people doing taunts over and over.
Need more on the line of Bat Rider.
North American bias.
I mean, it might be, because Void, one of the first people I think of is Moo, and I'm like, what's your problem with Moo, bro? Like, what's he done?
Okay, Moo's legit. I'm talking like, I don't know, Void players in pubs just seem like idiots. With Lifestealers, you know.
Did you notice that pause, Weppers? He was going to say a player's name, and he stopped himself. I'm proud of him.
I was. You got me.
Uh-oh. Doom. He just got baited in. The Ray's going to be there as well. BZZ, he thought it was such an easy kill, but FNG, oh, he grabs him by the gonads and makes sure that he can't leave.
And Afro's holding his gold as well. He might just finish the mech first and then go back for the Arcane Boot. Makes him pretty much unkillable in the lane.
Right. Like, when you have a lead like this, I feel like it's almost always a good choice to just get way tankier. Yeah, he is going to do that. He's going to do exactly that. Because you just become unkillable. And how do they come back if they can't kill the hero that has the highest network? That's how you come back. You come gank this guy.
And look at this. There's going to be a tank gank by Shadow Demon, but Medusa, they still know she's over here. These are big stacks as well they want to interrupt. They'll finish the kill on Veliel, but gee. Oh, Kulich is totally going to dive this. Firefly active. 3 sticky napalms. They need to protect, but the last who comes out before the silence. Enjoy the cliff, G. And enjoy your death. Even if you get to kill the Bat Rider, it's so worth it for him. And now they're going to waste a lot of time chasing him. Golden Blade connects. Inkswell as well. They will find the kill onto him. But Shadow Fiend, yeah, he might just walk in and try and snatch one of the two of these.
Oh, you got to go get this. This is going to give me mega anxiety. Oh, no, SF.
He's too hesitant. He's just hesitating right now. The runes are coming up, which is fair.
It's real dangerous.
Look, Illidan. Oh, he actually got the Arcane Rune as well, but no points in the clap. He can't slow him down too, so Afon will just walk this off. Open Wound's coming out, and Rage has been used. Afon, body block's beautiful from Dahak. So Afon can move away, And he still can't reach. He's trying to go in now, but he's got to dive the tower. Even then, do you actually get this kill if you lose line of sight? He's one more here. Afon with the stick. We'll just waste some more time. Illidan turns around for the race with the Requiem. It's enough to get Illidan low enough that he will fall, and Velio will join him as well. It's a 2-for-1 trade, and I mean, yes, you get a big kill into SF, but arguably your most important hero at this point in the game has to die for it.
I think it's not the worst just because it secures a stack for Medusa. Like, 3 stacks. There's 3, like, 4 stacks here. Or 5 stacks. Like, this is so much farm. You can see the net worth going up when Medusa's farming this. Although Bat's looking to contest this. Oh, my God.
He's back again. He's a little bit too late now, and he needs to get out because Shadow Demon is arriving.
He's just totally on his own.
There's still an Ancient stack, though, and just look at Witch Doctor. Look at FNG. This is probably the most greedy thing we've ever seen FNG do this year. Farming top while everyone is arguing over the creep camp spot.
May as well. Somebody's got to take the space.
And finally, Dahak will decide that it's him that should take the space. He's already got his Midas. He's 1100 gold towards the Sacred Relic. Yeah, go farm the jungle or something. Like you should have been.
He's going to war. This is actually really nice.
Oh my god, look at Coolidge again. Roll in. Nice disruption dodge coming out. They won't be able to find any sort of counter initiation as BCC tries to move through the Inkswell. But the real highlight of this is how much of All But Gold's time is being wasted by Batrider here?
A lot. Although he's not farming, so...
But the Lifestealer is. Look at Dahak.
He is, but so is Medusa. I actually think that, yeah, the last few minutes have been good for All But Gold. You can see the gold lead is only 4k now. It's just because of the stacks and the fact that it's a Medusa farming versus like Medusa's going to outfarm a Lifestealer for sure. Although if you're getting towers with Lifestealer, that's a totally different story. And then again, on the bot line, Illidan.
Yeah, but this trade, I mean, it's gonna. Here's the thing: if you're a Medusa, you don't really want to be playing in that Radiant jungle, whereas the Lifesteal will happily just play around that Dire jungle, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's pretty safe up there. Pretty close to the Radiance too, or sorry, the Relic. Halfway there. Smoke coming out in the mid lane. They have the Soulbind Doom combo. They'd ideally like to get the double Doom off. It always feels really bad when you just use the Doom to initiate and not with the Soulbind. If you can get the SF and the Witch Doctor here, that's amazing. Velhor's just going to initiate. Just start the fight.
Let's just split up though. FNG going to tank the gank, and you can see it. SF refuses to get close enough that they get the value.
Oh, gets the purge.
He's got the Requiem. They throw out the Doom, but it's too late. He gets Requiem off. Disruption to stop the reinforcements to revive and pull the smash through. There is the Soulbind linking them together just to move away quickly because the damage out from the Doom level 1 isn't high. As the open wounds turn around to BCC with the Magnetize active, a lot of damage done. Lassie going to drag Shadow Demon in with a lot of that Napalm stacks. He's going to take the damage. Stone Gaze being used, going to chase on through. G trying to help out, but really just getting that Earth Spirit kill and looking to retreat. BCC is low. Older Kulich moving forward. Think about it, but in the end, the Inkswell will deter Gambit from trying to find more.
Yeah, 5v5 mid. Definitely favors the more late game lineup, but which would be the side of the Medusa. I think that fight would have gone a lot better if you used the Doom and the Grimstroke ultimate together. Like, once again, it's always very unfortunate when you have to use those separately. I mean, it still went well for them because they kited really well in that fight, and they all showed up to it, of course, so they protect the tower briefly. But if they can use the Soulbind and get that Doom off again with a double Doom, then the Bat gets doomed as well. And they're bound together, so the Bat's movement speed nullified.
And it's, I guess you could say, like, that was far from an ideal scenario for All But Gold, right? Because that Doom, it came out after the Requiem, so they didn't even achieve the original goal, but to flip it around like that, is this just, like, to the pace? Oh, it might be to the pace of them, but they are forced to fight here with the Enraged, looking on the Immersion. He might have the damage to bring him down, but no, the open wound slows him down. They'll finish him off, chasing for more, looking for it. Gonna get Alphon low, or rather get a Kulich low, but they can't actually kill him off, so he'll back away.
They have the mech. They have the mech on SF. If they can use the courier. Right, like I think they want to start a fight with the Shadow Demon in prison. Maybe even like Ursa running in with the drums, and then they want to use the Doom plus Grimstroke combo. It's just so value getting both. And they tried to do that, but it's unfortunate because the SD, he's just a level 6 SD. The Disruption's not a very long range. The Demonic Purge, sure, it's slow, but it doesn't do anything for stunning and interrupting the SF ultimate.
Rolling. Velior's been caught. Magnetized. Clipping onto 2. Velior is dead. There's no way to save him now. The Stone Gate's going to be used pretty far out just to try and zone them away from the high ground. Immersion being chased onto by Illidan. Got his rolled out, blocked though. At the same time, he did get stunned up, but we boulder smashed away. I'll end the fight there. It feels like Gambit, to some extent, are trying to dodge. Does that feel like the right move here, Weapons? Do they just have to try and buy time against the Medusa?
I mean, they're still taking pretty good fights. All the goal are the ones that are running.
Afon
But
actually gets the kill. The double doom coming out, but the Lassie was down to Ursa. It locks him in. It means that they won't be able to actually find their value. Instead, BZZ running in, trying to fight up against this. Gets hit pretty hard with the open wounds. The arrival of Lifestealer. They'll find a kill on Doom, but they're not done. They're looking for more. Witch Doctor gives his life, but Illidan, he needs a way out of this. The urn is on top of him. He does have the drums. We'll have to pop them and look to move away. Purge coming out in Older Coolidge. He's got the flame break, but can't get close enough. So it looks like Ursa might get away. There's going to be a roll through. Immersion going really far in. Has to boulder smash away. Gives the kill over to G in the end. That was not how he envisioned that going.
Greedy in their chase, but also understandable why they would want to try and go for that, considering how the fight went. Double Doom comes out and come out fairly strong out of the fight, but you really see the power in the face boot drums there from the other side. Just being able to get out of that fight fairly easy, but I do think...
Goodness.
Sorry, did I make a noise there? 1 sec. You guys talk it out. I'm just going to check my mic. Something just happened.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think it was they kind of baited themselves, and moving into the shrine area is almost always going to be difficult. It's Bewitch in the bot lane. Doom gets gone and used Maledict. There is not a lasso available, but he's going to die to Maledict damage. Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back. Apologies, viewers, and apologies, co-casters. I maybe just deafened you, but then again, the positives of that are you can't hear my terrible analysis.
Oof. Batrider.
Or you can't see or hear rather the terrible deaths of Batrider.
Terrible TP. Sometimes you just get caught by the SD. He almost has his Ether Lens on SD. That'll really help out for starting these fights off on a good note with the disruption.
For sure. Or just catching up with the Demonic Purge from long range is also going to be felt. But it's what you said, though. I think that it is kind of weird that they're letting the Medusa farm so much. I somewhat understand if you feel like you have the stronger late game, but the longer the game goes, the harder it's going to be for the Knights to actually, or the Lifestealers to actually get in on top of the Medusa.
I think this is a solid timing with the Radiance.
It's definitely a solid timing with the Radiance. They're also getting very close to 15 on the Shadow Fiend, and they have Greaves up as well. If they can get that 15 up, then they got a very strong pushing timing for sure.
Yeah, he's real close.
We might also find ourselves in a position where the Lifestealer starts becoming part of this delivery, right? Because so far we haven't seen the Infest bombs. Now that he has the Radiance, he will probably look to get pretty deep pretty fast.
Yeah, and Bat is going for the Blink Dagger next, so they'll have the Bat Blink Bomb. For now, they can do the Earth Spear, because Immersion has been doing an excellent job at getting into these fights and getting the Magnetize out on like 3 or 4 people. I think if you just infest Immersion with how he's playing right now, you're going to get in the fight and you're going to kill people, especially with that Radiance. This is the perfect time to just go for a smoke up. So they look like they're smoking to the mid lane. Lifestealer can TP in because there's a tower there.
Yeah, he's going to have the Medallion finished up. So if they get a fight off of this, they can definitely just sneak into Roche, take that out real quick. You're going to get 15 on your Shadow. Just keep snowballing from there. Get all tier 2s.
This is such a nice bait, going to the Lifestealer, knowing that Old But Gold is probably going to try to make a play on him up here. You see the Ursa. You do not have Blink Lasso.
No, but they can get across the Illidan time Lassie to drag him away from an opportunity to disrupt him. Means he'll use the Enrage, but not to much effect. He's going to be kited down, killed off, and Velior will be the secondary kill as they pursue through. Beautifully done by Immersion to make sure that silence comes out just in case there was a chance of a disruption being used.
That was really nicely executed team fight. Understanding that the Bat is countered by the SD and that you picked it into it. Ooh, mid lane.
Yeah, look at this move as well. Straight across to the mid. Because you don't expect this. I mean, you just see them top. You're like, okay, they use the lasso. They use their big initiation. There's no way they're going to punish us for a quick push in the mid lane, but they do.
That's the Bat travels, man. It's so difficult to play the map against this hero. It feels like he could be everywhere. And if you get an eventual Yule Scepter, even without the lasso, you can't just TP away from him.
That definitely opens up Roche as well. Now if they just want to sneak in. Or don't even have to sneak in, can just walk in and take it.
Well, careful, Bat. You mad, man.
Look, just messing with him. Disruption's going to come out. BCC does have the net as well. What does he want to really commit to this, though? He's taking way too much damage to the problem. They're going to purge him up, but Older Coolidge can just walk it off. Takes a lot of damage. Just about lives. 50 HP.
Did he get the bounty? Was that worth? No, I didn't.
No, he didn't, because he was disrupted. Doom just walked in and made sure he got that. Doom actually was close to death from that, though.
He was, man. That damage. This hero, man, is like... You don't think of Batrider as this mid to late game damage dealer, but he really is, especially when it comes to these offlaners and supports.
Just imagine him at level 15 as well, right? If he had the Flame Break, that's a dead Doom, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. 2 seconds Flame Break. I've never seen anybody go for the Flame Break cooldown at level 25. I'm sure there's some broken build with that. Oh my god, he is making so much space all the time.
They're netting him, but he's on the low ground. Here's the thing. Can you actually get him with the Inkswell? Maybe. He will pay the price. Space for your lifestealer, though. Wink, wink. Who does now have his Yasha, actually. So, lifestealer keeping pace with the Medusa.
Medusa is close to his butterfly. That is a useful item to have for quite a while, since there's not going to be an MKB for quite some time for the lifestealer at least.
Task bounce around. Therefore, he decides it's worth the commitment. G takes a decent amount of damage. Switches over to BZZ, who's down to half HP, trying to move away. Rolling. Perfectly done with the Magnetize. Onto the Medusa, going to get a low. Stone Gate's going to come out. The rage there as well. And the double Doom being thrown out onto both the Lifestealer and the Shadow Fiend. In the end, it's actually Gambit that pay the price as Immersion falls.
Nice instant silence on the Earth Spirit as he rolled in by Vanscore. He got the Magnetize on one person, but everybody was grouped up. So he was about to drop a Remnant and kick and just put on everybody. It would have been a disaster. But the silence on Earth Spirit and Ursa focusing the Earth Spirit as well forced the Earth Spirit into this weird situation where he had to hit the bug on him, but hitting the bug caused the Ursa to just beat his ass and kill him there. So just really nicely played, like understanding how important immersion is in these fights and countering him.
I do like this move from Gambit, though, because this is something you wouldn't expect. After you lose that fight mid like that, to go and quickly just do this under the nose of Olba Gold, who have just scanned it, but are going to arrive way too late.
They don't have the Doom. That's a pretty big deal.
I also have a ward right up.
Make sure Batrider can't lasso any of them, but that should buy enough time to finish the Roche. Illidan trying to move in with the BKB active. They'll be able to pick up the Aegis, though. Afon has a second life to work with. Dahak, a little bit scared, but the lasso's going to come out, dragging herself far away from his team. Look where he is.
He's on the low ground.
He can't actually get out. He just has to watch. Disruption to try and buy enough time to actually maybe push him out, but in the end, the rage is going to be there. Who are you going to play with, though, little bear? You're basically a cub in a zoo expedition right now. You can do nothing but die. Roll forward, looking for more. Boulder smash through. Does connect on to G the Sans as well. Going to chase through Inkswell there, but Roll is going to be there. Does actually get the Stone Gaze out in time. Only Lifestealer caught looking at the cookies, though. Immersion wants to turn around and stick his hand in the jar, though. He's got the roll through. G can't get away, and no one can save his life. Medusa will fall.
God, dude. First Arteezy, now Illidan.
And there's more. They're cleaning up Vanscore, and they will clean up this tier 2. There's a creep wave pushing him right now. In fact, they go straight top. They say, wait, their base is exposed. Medusa's dead for 50 seconds. They don't have the Doom still. Easy choice.
Just finished that BKB.
There was Cliff Teasy. Now we have Hillidan coming out in this game.
That's a good one.
Thank
you.
I
mean, Afterlife also had an Arcane Rune on the Batrider there, so he's got lasso up. Everybody can go cooldown back up. Ursa's up, but, you know, if they get him again, he finished off that BKB, so he can't really take a fight. If they want to, they can just go back, regen up a bit, go for the tier 2. Maybe even start clearing up the tier 1 and the tier 2 and bottom to open up all the lanes for the possibility of just getting mega creeps if they can destroy another fight like they just did.
Yeah,
Bat's gonna have the blink in the next fight too.
I've actually got to give credit to Jenkins, though. You know, that actually fits with a theme, because, you know, you think Arteezy, you think Baby Rage, and I mean, there's literally the word rage in Illidan's name. There may be a pattern that will tell us who's going to get Cliff next.
We need to find the next person in the puzzle so that we can warn them ahead of time.
Do we warn them, though, or do we just take bets on them?
It's like figuring out the pattern with like a serial killer to figure out who's next so you can catch them. Except in this case,
on this game, the next person to be killed will be a Kool-Aid. He was far out. I mean, he was doing Batrider things. This sometimes backfires. And all but gold, they committed almost everyone on the team to make sure it did backfire on him.
He's dying a lot doing this stuff, but it's so obnoxious to deal with the guy that's running around doing this. Like, you feel like the map is so small when there's a Batrider just constantly in your jungle, like poking you. You know? It's just frustrating to deal with, and he's constantly pushing out the waves. He soloed the bot tower, and they all have to TP to respond to it. Very annoying.
He's finished his Blink Dagger as well, so you always have the threat of farming somewhere where you don't have it. You might
Zoning ultimate right there.
Yes, of course.
Better safe than sorry, right? I mean, Gambit, they're like 10k net worth lead, boys. We're confident. Just make sure the illusions aren't able to push out the lanes. Sometimes you just have to throw a Requiem even. Go on, throw it in. Oh, they're actually going to throw in the Soul Bind. Double Doom coming out right now, but are you close enough to do something about the double net as well? All the Kulich looking to move in right now. There's the Requiem on the side, and they should have the damage to actually finish off the Earth Spirit, but what about the Lifestealer? They're pursuing this. They need to be careful though. BZZ getting low on HP. Afon stands his ground. BZZ, one more hit might do it. He's going to fall. The chase is over because the hack, he's ready to fight now. There's going to be use of the Stone Gaze. Disruption coming out defensively. Afon did turn around. No, the Medusa illusions. They're going to get him. Afon. Aegis is gone. Ursa chasing across. There's that pain for a Witch Doctor we were talking about in the draft. Now, do they pursue for more? Afon doesn't have that second life anymore, but All But Gold, they basically emptied every bullet in the chamber.
One thing that's easy to forget about is the fact that the Shadow Demon illusions do 150% damage of a carry. Like, you just get a better version of a right-click carry. So those Medusa illusions just absolutely demolish the Shadow Fiend, and I would be worried going late game against essentially what is 2.5 Medusas, and then of course she has the Manta style as well, and all of these stat items. It's very scary if you try to fight into this, and she's got like a Scotty, and you have the SD is essentially just another carry just by virtue of how this disruption works.
It really feels like the game plan for late game is just going to be ignore the Medusa as much as you can, don't get stoned, and then we try and just kill everything around her as you usually try and end up. Since you don't have anything that can really burn down the mana this game either, you don't have any of the diffusal meta build, you just kind of have to play around the Medusa. Just try and ignore it as a hero, but it's going to be so hard because they just stand around the Medusa, so they're never really going to get caught out in that sense.
All right. It is really hard. Like you said, like SF is not building into anything to deal with the Medusa. He's going for the Butterfly. It's just making him tankier. Lifestealer, he's going for AC. Like this is all just, you know, your typical items for these heroes. It's not in relation to the Medusa at all. There is no answer other than killing the rest of her team.
They're going to play a game of evading right now. Gambit just pushed on the bot lane while All But Gold plays the game as well on the top. They're actually converging here. The Lasso's going to come out. Batrider trying to make the solo play here. They're chasing through with the Rage Active Illidan. Can he do enough damage? The next going to come out, and yes, that will secure the kill under the bat. They punish him, and I'm not really sure what that move was about because the only person coming to assist you was Immersion.
I think he maybe thought that what was going to happen is they would try to take the tier 1 tower with like Medusa +1 maybe, and other people would like set up on the bot lane, something like that. Like he was anticipating the split that was about to happen, but it just didn't happen yet. Just going in 1v5.
Maybe one of his teammates forgot to tell, because they have wards down. That's the other thing, right? Look at Gambit's wards. They would have known if there was a preemptive setup. Maybe they were concerned about smoke.
True, yeah, maybe. Want to cancel TP, something like that. I don't know. I think it looked like he was setting up to cut the wave first, and then him and Immersion were like, all right, we can get a kill on this Doom quickly here. Just like a cheeky play didn't really pay off. That's all. Velhor's just following the Medusa. He knows all he's got to do is just sit behind this Medusa, disrupt him in worst case scenario, and then all of a sudden you have 2.5 Medusas sitting there hitting, and there's nothing you can do.
He even went for the movement speed talent, and then obviously Blink with it. He just always reaches Medusa to make sure that he doesn't get...
It's kind of this is oddity about All But Gold's draft, right? Because they've got 2 potent combos via their supports, and usually we talk about, like, when we see Oracles in draft, like, you kill the Oracle, flip the fight. If you kill the Grimstroke, you get rid of the Doom combo, but you allow the Medusa or Illusion combo to come out, and then vice versa if you go for the Shadow Demon first.
Yeah, usually BKBs are the answer to that, but the unfortunate thing is the Doom plus Grimstroke combo, of course, pierces through BKB. So BKB is not your typical teamfight solution to that, where you can just BKB, ignore the bullshit, and just go on whoever you want. It's like you're still going to be caught by the Doom plus Shadow Demon, or sorry, the Doom plus Grimstroke.
Smoke coming out from All But Gold. They suspect Roche is up soon. They know it could spawn in 20 seconds. They want to be in position just in case it's a quick one.
They have good vision. They saw the Shadow Fiend walk up to the high ground here. They are fighting to the shrine, which is a bit difficult. Awkward.
Pretty bold of them. So they reveal their plan there. They're going to be back, but the last is going to come out, a drag across. They want to try and get rid of BZZ. There's the Soulbind going down, actually under one of the illusions, and FNG, and with the Death Ward, he's going to dance his little heart off. Grimstroke goes down the Doom. That's one combo removed. And Roche, look at the spawn time. 10 seconds, Gambit. They're going to be well placed to go into that pit.
They're looking for more. 2 plus Medallion.
They're going to try and find the Medusa. The bat forward to Hack. Gets the open wounds out into Velio. That's the target, but the jump is going to be there. Ursa going to work on Older Kulich. Has he got the damage? Yes. But now he needs an escape. With the Enrage, he'll just look to TP away. The roll perfectly timed. The Merchant ensures there is no escape for this bear. If he wants himself some bat meat, they want to sell out on some bear meat.
There it is. 1 hero alive. Look who it is. You can't kill the Medusa. Just kill her whole team. Who cares?
We wondered if they get Roche, but now this is a whole lane, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Shadow Team's pretty important. They don't have the Grimstroke ultimate. They do have Doom available. They could buy back an Ursa, but it would set them back a lot to have him buy back without a BKB up.
So you see on the Lifestealer though, and then obviously the level 15 taunt. Just getting the tier 3 here, opening up this lane as well, is very useful. He obviously cleared up the last and top. The creep's just doing.
And even if you find nothing as all but gold, like that's not the wrong move by Ursa, right? Because in this type of scenario, if you're 2 lanes down, even with a Medusa, I don't think there's an easy way to say that all but gold can come back into this game. They have to keep that second lane up.
Yeah, otherwise you're just going hyper late game and hoping for the Medusa to eventually get like a Scotty plus Rapier and have, you know, one of the kind of throne run down mid and go throne games. But dragging this game out for another 15 minutes where the lanes of Brax don't really matter seems like a very hard task, to be honest, especially considering this Roche is about to fall. It's got a cheese on it. The next one's going to have a refresher shard.
Things looking pretty good for Gambit and Alasu as well. They found the Doom for the second time in a row, and he just melts, just disappears. Fan score. I mean, this is kind of the catch, right? You got this Doom, you got the Medusa. If you find one, you know that one of the supports is very close by.
At least it's 2 heroes both having buybacks, but it's still not great for them.
Gambit, they're going to move up to the high ground. Look at FNG. The POS 5 is first up on the high ground. That's some confidence right there. Soulbind coming out. They want to move him right now. BKB activated by Illidan. Looking to fight against this. Aphon's going to be purged up. He does have the Aegis to work with. Not the ideal target. Can't get the Requiem out. They force the Doom onto the Aegis target. This is beautiful for Gambit. They're going to turn around now. Looking towards this. Disruption comes out to protect the Ursa, but Doom's already down. G trying to stand up against this with the Stone Gates. We had to do so. Gets rid of the Witch Doctor. The Requiem comes out. Aphon ready to fight, turns around on the G after the gaze runs out, roll through on it from immersion, bats away, kills off the Grimstroke, and G running for the high hills, has a lot of mana but not much HP to work with. And Dahak, he's hot in pursuit, roll through from immersion, no remnants remaining so he can't get on there on time, takes a lot of damage because of the Shadow Demon, but the roll through the Batway says, where you going? There's nowhere safe, there's nowhere you can hide. He'll give his life but ensure the Medusa falls. Older Kulich might go down for this, but your throne is about to be exposed because Aphon has been hitting the tier 4s the whole time.
There was a moment there where they were focusing the Medusa, and you just see the back on the bat line, the bat on the back line, spam pinging, and then they all just focus the back lines, kill everybody, and then finally go on the Medusa after everybody's dead. But there was a moment there, it looked good, where Medusa's in the front line, kind of hitting, and they couldn't really do much. And then all of a sudden, everybody's just like, well, what do we do? Let's go on the back lines.
It's just really well played by Gambit. Definitely just playing around with what we discussed, with just leave the Medusa, kill everything, then obviously getting the 2 good pickoffs, and the combo never really hitting too well, or not having the impact you want, at least from Old Black Gold, with getting the double Doom. Both, or all the times they got double Doom outside of maybe one fight, they just kind of ran away with it, and they couldn't really catch on to it afterwards. So just very well played by Gambit.
I would say if you're Old Book Gold, the most frustrating thing to deal with in that game is not Afro Ninja, it's not Daxic on the Lifestealer, even though, you know, they had good games. Like, obviously, they did well, but Batrider was playing so annoyingly, just constantly causing you to split up, starting the initiations by pulling out the Doom, like making so, and then Immersion, like getting the Shadow Demon on the back line so he can't get the disruption off. Immersion was doing these initiations. Like, these two were completely controlling the game from the off lane and 4-roll, and you know, that is kind of what you expect when the game ends at like 33 minutes. It's usually because the offlaner in the 4-roll, typically the heroes that are in control for the, you know, the laning stage and kind of the early mid game. So it makes sense, but they were they were causing a lot of chaos in this game, and basically getting every single initiation. Killing the Doom first was super important in this game. Like the Doom plus Grimstroke couldn't do anything.
These are your favorite type of games, right, Jenkins? Where the offlaner is the defining factor.
Hell yeah, dude! This I love this shit. It's awesome. Offlane's so fun right now because it's this mix between like pushing out lanes and making space, but you also show up the fights. It's kind of like a mix between carry and mid. So it's a super diverse role right now. It's a role with depth, but maybe I'm biased. I don't know.
Maybe. And Weapus, do you think, like, take away for all but gold from this, is it that they're still playing, I mean, with their draft, it looks like they're playing last patch, but there's always been this kind of question of these kind of old Vanguard of CIS Dota. Are they just playing this old style of Dota that isn't there anymore and they're struggling to adapt?
I'm not sure. I think they have good ideas for what they do. I think there's just a kind of a hierarchy in terms of the skill level of the teams within CIS. It's like you have VP on top, you have like Gambit and Navi, and then All But Gold, and the other teams come down there. And it's just, there's something they have in game that just outmatches teams that are below them. So at least when it comes to into the regional qualifiers, you always have this like clear cut that the upsets might not happen. You might have these random stacks come and upset, but the teams that are playing against each other now for a while, you always kind of see who comes out in the right way because they all know how to play against each other. At least the top teams know how to do against a team right below them to make sure that they always win. And it feels like it's more that than it is them being stuck in an old way of playing, I think.
That's fair. That's fair way of looking at it. But that does actually bring us to a close. Surprisingly enough, only 2 best of 3s to work through this day. At least the VP one gave us a free game series. It gave us some bulk to our day. But that does bring us to a close. Many action occurring for tomorrow. That was very good English. 3 best of 3s, in fact. VP versus Empire, Gambit versus Na'Vi, as Virginie did lose to them at the same time as All But Gold lost to Gambit. And then another series after that to decide the second qualifying team for CIS. But that means we're done here, folks. Plenty of action still going on. EU, I believe SA still has some things to resolve, and NA start today, maybe, or tomorrow. The point is, action continues. There's a reason BTS has 4 channels active any given time. But, folks, been a pleasure. Lads, it has actually been a big pleasure. Very interesting TriCast. You know, I think it went quite smoothly, actually, if I'm being 100% honest. But
I disagree.
You disagree, and that's why you're not on this tomorrow, because it turns out that Jenkins, he's going off to try and be more American and learn how to shoot. I'm guessing that Weapons is going to be doing something fun like snowboarding because he has a country that allows fun things like that.
Something like that, yeah.
But I then... That would leave me alone. So I have found a replacement. He's got beautiful muscles. You want to hug him, kiss him, and love him. That's right. Lizard will be joining me for all 3 best of 3s tomorrow. So you will get your Slavic
classic combo.
The classic combo has returned. Okay, I loaned him out. I pimped him out to Dream League. They gave me a good rate. I'm his pimp. Yeah, but that's gonna be it from us. So thanks for tuning, guys. Go enjoy the other games, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm sure you'll see more of Weapus and Jenkins soon.